All right, so that was actually number 2, right? So these pieces. It's ready to roll as soon as it dries. Next thing we're gonna do, looking at this, we're gonna put the pieces that go in next, which would be, I'm working from the bottom up. And so you can see this number 3 here, this number 3. That's what we're gonna do next, is number 3. And so I think what I'll do, I've got number 3 right here. Number 3. It's ready. So I think what I'll do is go ahead and cut out. What I'll do is cut out the number 3. So I'm gonna get my cutting pad back up and cut out all of the number 3. So I'm gonna mark them first. In fact, I'll mark them on my pad, I guess. All right, so this whole section of his body is underneath all of the face. This hat is further back, so this top part of the hat and this part of his torso is what we're going to do next. And so I'm gonna start with number 3, as I mentioned. I'm gonna cut number 3s out, and then I'll probably go ahead and cut this 2 out. I'll just cut all these pieces out of his head, and probably all these pieces down here, but I'm going to mark them first. Okay, so this is 7, 3, 5, 2, 3, 3. I don't need those yet. This down here is 3, 11, 6, 11. This is all 8, 6, that's a shadow, and 8. Gosh. All right, so I'm just gonna go ahead and take the top of this dude off. Okay, now I'm gonna cut his shoulders off. Again, I'm not sure that there's not a better way to do this. There might be. Okay, that's what we have left. Now I'm going to go ahead and cut off my number 3s. Okay, gluing these together, I'm just using gel medium. You could use PVA glue, stick glue, rubber cement, wallpaper paste. You could use just about anything. but I'm using gel medium here. It's what I had on hand, and it works pretty good. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and cut out the next pieces, which would be number 2 up here, and number 7, and then 11, 8. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and cut those out. Okay, I'm going to cut these kind of in the order that they are. I first have this number 2, which I think goes on the hat. Okay, nothing here that is out of the ordinary. Literally, the rest of this particular video is just cutting and gluing and cutting and gluing. Lots of cutting, lots of gluing, and so I've sped this thing up, I think 10x in a lot of it, just to get through it. I mean, it's super boring. It's just, you're just cutting out the patterns that you've already made, and so it's relatively straightforward. The things that I discovered here are, it was easier for me to cut my patterns out of the paper and then make sure they were facing the right way, but trace them on the back of my gel paper instead of on the front. Outside of that, everything was pretty straightforward. moving on. I've been away from this for a few days, couldn't get back to it until today, and so I thought what I would do is just make a black and white copy of this so that I could figure out where the pieces go ahead of time. And so I did that, and what I'll do is just use this with this to figure out where all the pieces go, and I'll put them in the right place, and then I'll just move this off. So we'll do that first. This piece I know is missing. It's already marked, so no big deal. But see if I can get some of these put in here real quick. Okay, so we're nearing the end of part 2 here, and again, nothing left but to cut and glue. In part 3, we will end up finishing the gluing. We will, I think, finish the outside edges of it, and then we'll also throw a coating of resin on it. And so, anyway, that's it. Have a good night.